85 degrees, sun shining down on Truist Park for this Sunday afternoon tilt between the Atlanta Braves and the Washington Nationals. Atlanta, with winning the first 3 games of this series, 21 games over 500. Here's the Nats, who are now at 2 games under 500, and this is their lineup. It'll start out with James Wood, Dalen Lyle, Dylan Cruz, Luis Garcia Jr., possible trade candidate, was a late scratch. No word on if he's being traded, but that certainly is of note for the Nats as they start this ball game today. And J.R. Ritchie, in July, he pitched out of the bullpen. Now he's back in a starting role. 8th start for the rookie.
Yeah, and he's been on a pretty good run and was when he was throwing out of the bullpen. But now a start, everything that happened with Ronaldo Lopez, Martin Perez, there was a little bit of a disruption. But it's nice to have an arm like J.R. Ritchie to be able to slide into the rotation in a spot like this. And we look forward to the start this afternoon.
And we look forward to your Ford Keys.
Yeah, how about a big welcome back to J.R. Ritchie. Last major league start actually took place on June 23rd. And we got to finish the job today. The idea of a 4-game sweep, very difficult to do. And the way that these starting pitchers have held down the Washington Nationals offense has been very impressive. One more to go.
Now, Friday night, Elder was fantastic. 6 innings, 1 run yesterday. What a great story. Martin Perez getting the late word that he would get the ball, and he held the Nats hitless through 6 2/3, completed 7. And now on this Sunday, it's J.R. Ritchie. And we start with a foul ball from James Wood here on this Sunday afternoon.
We hadn't seen James Wood pretty patient in his first at-bats at the very top of the order, but aggressive against J.R. Ritchie. Remember that first start, first pitch of J.R. Ritchie's career, James Wood hit a homer.
After that, he settled in, ended up having a solid start. A few bumps in the road there as a starter. CJ mentioned he did find some stable ground in the bullpen in July. And now recalled today.
It seemed to me, and I know the Braves don't do this very often, but this felt like the perfect opportunity to use an opener for J.R. Ritchie. The way that the lineup is set for the Washington Nationals, all those lefties at the top and some really good ones. But why not? This works better.
Little revenge against James Wood. He freezes him with a curveball.
A little reminder, don't listen to me. I'll just stay up here and add a uniform and making big decisions. That's the breaking ball, and it's a good one for J.R. Ritchie. It is easily his best secondary offering behind the fastball, and he goes backdoor there to ring up James Wood.
Four-seam fastball this time, and at the last minute, Yaz deciding to take that off the bounce, so Dalen Lyle with a single. Now Yastrzemski out and right. Acuna's still playing. He's just DHing today. Dubon had the day off yesterday. He returns to left. And there's the infield. All of this brought to you by our friends at Racetrack. That one ruled low by Brian Walsh. First year for Walsh as a full-time umpire, though he did work games the last 3 seasons.
He's been great. He's been a top 5 umpire when you look at strikes looking above average, and he doesn't lean one way or the other. He pretty much calls it down the middle. Doesn't get aggressive calling strikes, doesn't get wide necessarily calling balls. It's been a good start to his career as a full-time guy now.
Former college baseball player out at a Division II school in California, and then got into umpiring after he graduated. Riley over, could be 2. There's 1. There's not 2. I thought they got him. Olsen stretched as far as he could, but they say Cruz is safe.
Yeah, it looked like perhaps maybe Ozzie did not have his best behind this throw. Might have been a little bit of air underneath it and didn't quite get there in time with Dylan Cruz, and as well as he runs. Everything looked really good right here, but then the throw from Ozzie, let's take a peek. See how it kind of shoots up in the air a little bit. Might not have had a great grip on the ball and didn't have his best velocity behind this throw, and that ended up probably making the difference.
That'll give a chance to C.J. Abrams here at the top of the first. We've got our C.J. here in the booth. They've got their C.J. His real name is Paul Christopher Abrams Jr. His dad goes by Chris. And so he's Chris Jr. That's why they call him CJ.
Yeah, he's one of the few. Go back to C.J. Wilson and C.J. Cronin, if I'm not mistaken. They were both, like myself, Christopher Johns. We're starting to mix it up here a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a smaller fraternity, but we welcome all. You don't have to be a Christopher John to be in the C.J. fraternity.
Wow, made quick work of him, did Richie. It's that curveball again, swing and a miss by Abrams.
Using it well and getting some chase here against C.J. Abrams. A nice first inning for J.R. Richie.
Cade Cavalli on the mound. He was their opening day starter this year. He's had some bumps and bruises, but as of late, CJ, he's been solid.
Really good over his last 7 with a 2.5 ERA, 4-0 record. Strikeout rate during that time at 31%, well above league average. Walk rate below league average. He's got a good fastball in the sense that it looks nice on the radar gun, but it has been touched up by opposing hitters, especially that two-seam fastball.
He starts with a 4-seam variety.
I was going to say it might have something to do with the defense, right? The two-seamer is going to be on the ground. The batting average against it at 370. We know the defense has not been good here, but even the 4-seamer, OPS over 800 against it.
He did have a start back in April against the Braves in D.C. where he pitched well and he struck out 10. The Braves would then get to the Nats bullpen and win that game 7-2. Meanwhile, Drake Baldwin 1 for 12 in this series. It just goes to show how deep this team is, how many people have been producing here as of late for Atlanta. Other guys stepping up.
We showed you right there in the Nats dugout, Luis Garcia Jr. He was in the original lineup, and I don't know, call it what, 30 minutes, maybe if not less, before first pitch. The lineup changed, and so the speculation begins that he could be on the move. He's having a great year, career year for him, and there have been some rumblings about Garcia ending up with another team at the deadline.
Yeah, the Nats did say, which of course they're going to say this, he's available off the bench right now. He is. You see him there, but they'll tap back to the mound, and they get Baldwin by a step at first base. Let's take a look at Cavalli's arsenal that you were talking about here, CJ.
So we mentioned the issues with the fastball, but the curveball, you just saw it there. It's a knuckle curveball, and it is a really good one. Sweeper, changeup, cutter also in the mix for Cavalli. The cutter has not been very good, 357 against it, but the curveball and the sweeper, the two breaking pitches, that is where he has been most effective, and he does get a good amount of strikeouts on those two pitches. 83 of his 130 have come on both the curveball and the sweeper combined.
Braves actually drafted him out of high school, but it was late, 29th round. So he went to the University of Oklahoma, had a great career.
But there's no runners on, there's no signs to give.
I'm not sure exactly what they're complaining about. I guess it was a pitch clock violation on their pitcher.
Yeah.
It came in like 7 or 8 seconds.
Is this mic on, or we just got good hot mics today?
We've got good hot mics down there. The parabolic mic is picking up Brian Walsh talking with Blake Butera. So now 1 ball, 1 strike. Some first inning action between manager and umpire here.
When you're facing a potential 4-game sweep in the face, you're going to wake up a little crankier here on a Sunday morning.
It's a 4-game skid overall already. Braves trying to push that to a 5-game skid for the Nats before they hop on a plane and go to take on the Phillies with a series starting tomorrow. Lifted right field. Foul ball here for Acuna.
And I say that about Blake Butera maybe being in a bad mood. His team has been good, better than expected, and now that we've seen him a decent amount here in his first season, I don't think I've seen any other facial expression but that one the entire time. He probably would crush it in poker.
Yeah, he's just kind of steady Eddie. And the reviews on him out of that organization have all been positive. A couple of homers in this series for Acuna. including one last night, and then Olsen hit a homer behind him back-to-back in that first inning yesterday. He strikes out here, 97 from Cavalli. Racetrack defense for the Nats. Lyle, Cruz, and Wood left to right in the outfield. Bibas gets a start today at third, Chaparro at first, and another start behind the dish for Keibert Ruiz. Innocent bouncer to first, and a 1-2-3 first for Cade Cavalli.
Because we've seen it all year. The Nats are legit as far as what they bring to the table offensively. But Braves pitchers, they've answered the bell, and a good first inning for J.R. Ritchie with a couple of strikeouts.
Getting James Wood and C.J. Abrams in that first inning. Now here's Ruiz. Shout out to graphics guy Ben Momo. Wrote those numbers on a cocktail napkin at Johnny's Hideaway late last night. So he was working and playing at the same time. Ruiz is 0 for 7 so far in this series. That's not true, by the way, just in case Ben's family is watching. He was home.
Yeah, he was actually just drinking at home while he was doing that.
That's right.
It wasn't out.
That's right. Hey. 23-year-old J.R. Ritchie, 8th start, 14th appearance of his rookie campaign. And he loses Ruiz here to start the second. Thinking back to yesterday, in case you didn't see it, Reynaldo Lopez did end up going on the 15-day IL with that left knee issue. MRI is going to be done. No real word yet on the extent of the damage, but that man stepped up in a big way, going 7 innings yesterday for Atlanta.
He talked about it being one of the best games of his career. Not a lot of time. I think maybe somewhere around inside of an hour when he got word he was taking a nap. He had thought he got traded because Jeremy Hefner was kind of being loud about trying to find him and figure out where he was. And there was a little bit, I'll say, panic in the clubhouse, but he was on alert and then only found out that he was going to start. And then Walt said after the game, which I thought was really interesting, is that they told Martin, because it was such short notice, hey man, we can use an opener to give you a little bit more time, and everything was just like, nope, I got it, I'll take care of it, I'll be fine. The kind of answers that Martin you would expect from him at this point, and Walt was just singing his praises in the post game yesterday in the way that he handled it, and my goodness, did he deliver.
It's kind of been that same story all year long for Perez, and the praise from Walt Weiss. He's a pro in every sense of the word. Did you hear what Walt said about athletic trainer George Poulos coming into his office like Kramer on Seinfeld?
So that I almost have to see it to believe it, right? Because it's not his personality at all. He's generally very laid back and calm, cool, collected. I would have paid to see that level of panic.
Yeah, bring him up. Taina's going to challenge.
Batter's challenging the strike ball.
Did this hit the inside corner? Yes.
Ball's confirmed, the batter's out. Washington has one challenge.
Sunday afternoon frozen pizza for Taina.
And on a changeup that just barely clipped the inside part of the plate there. And the Nationals have had a little bit of an issue with their challenges and burning them early. Now that was mislocation, so as a hitter you also see a catcher reaching all the way across and feeling like that ball was outside of the strike zone, but it was not.
So already 3 strikeouts for J.R. Ritchie. But yeah, to put a bow on that, George Poulos, when he found out that Reynaldo Lopez was injured, he went barreling into Walt Weiss's office like Kramer on Seinfeld and said, Walt, I'm sorry, but Lopez hurt his knee, can't pitch, and that led to the scramble. And that also leads to J.R. Ritchie getting the start today. He may have just gotten a gift there from Brian Walsh.
That's the part about burning one early in the second inning, right? If you're sitting here hitting and you feel like, man, I think that one was out of the zone, but you'd hate to burn the last one in the second inning of the game. Nobody will beat what the Braves did. What was it, 14 pitches into a game earlier this year, and they had burned both of their challenges.
But they've improved since.
Yes.
Through the right side, Nunez with his first hit of the series, and that puts runners at first and second.
Good pitch here. It's the curveball. It's down. You get a pretty weak ground ball at 80 miles an hour, but just finding a hole there on the right side. Lots of room because you're holding the runner, and so it becomes a base hit for Nunez.
Nunez does not give you much power at the plate, but the way he can steal bases, and saw his defense yesterday, he's got some good tools in that toolkit. Jorby Bibas now.
So exciting night last night, unless you're a fan of the other 29 teams, but Tarek Skubal ends up going to the Dodgers. We know it's going to be a busy time, and some reports coming in right now that Freddie Peralta is now a Tampa Bay Ray, leaving the New York Mets to go to Tampa, who are in first place in the American League East.
And Freddie Peralta really been struggling as of late, so the Rays betting on him getting back to his previous form.
They have a lot of confidence in what they do in Tampa and what happens with pitchers. Now, Freddie Peralta has been well established. Didn't happen for him in New York, but it's a team that no doubt identifies what they see and what's going on with him this year and feels like they can fix it pretty quickly.
Richie trying to put away Bibas. Yeah, the Skubal news late last night, and it shook the social media world.
That was a dagger. Nobody wanted to see him go to the Dodgers except for, of course, Dodger fans. And in return, we don't know. I mean, I listen to people and read them.
Deep out to right center, but it's brought in by Yastrzemski. It will advance Ruiz to third, and they'll be at the corners.
I think everybody thinks they have a feel for what the return is. You're never really going to know for a couple more years and how that return worked out. But on the surface, it did not seem as significant, maybe because there's names you just don't really know. And that's the one argument. Say, well, couldn't a lot of other teams match that package? Probably. I would think so. It's a matter of your willingness to do it, to give up prospects. And it seems like teams now more than ever kind of like to hold on to them if they can.
And the Dodgers giving up their number 5, number 7, and number 17 prospects to get Skubal. Runner takes off for second, and Baldwin's not going to try to challenge Nunez. And Nunez just became the first player in Major League Baseball to 40 steals this season.
We'll talk about the slug, but this team also leading in stolen bases, and offensively they can beat you quite a few different ways.
That makes this a very important at bat here with Chaparro. Grounded to Riley. The toss across. No damage. Richie gets out of it.
Welcome back to Truist Park, everybody. No score, bottom 2. 85 degrees, feels like 125 in the well. Now, Braves 2021. Do you know the record, Braves fans, at this point, August 1st, as of yesterday? 52 and 55. You are correct. They would win the World Series later that year. My argument is this: they didn't have the best players at that time, but they had the best team because, man, oh man, did they have chemistry. Talking to Matt Olson, he talked about the chemistry of this team last night. I wanted to talk about his 30th home run, but he kept talking about how good this clubhouse is. That is something that will carry them. I'm not saying they've already made the playoffs, but if they do, that's the #1 ingredient in the playoffs. Guys,
As Harris is going to bounce out to second. Look, you'd love to be where the Braves are now, 66 and 45, but it goes to show you that a lot of things can happen, and when you have good chemistry, you make the right moves at the deadline, you can make a run and win a World Series.
We'll say it till we're blue in the face, but the Atlanta Braves have always been known as a team, and that tradition continues, that they are very selective in who they bring into their clubhouse for that exact reason. When you're going great, everybody's a good teammate, right? But when you hit a couple of bumps in the road, or you get to the biggest moments where maybe there's some extra pressure, that's when the character will get revealed, and that is when you got to make sure you have good players that are also really good teammates and good people with you as you're kind of going through it.
We've heard Walt Weiss talk so much about what Martin Perez and Mauricio Dubon in particular have added to the clubhouse. Even though when the offseason hit, they might not have seemed like big acquisitions, they have turned into invaluable pieces. Let's take a look at our Whataburger What a Play on Ozzie Albies, talking about him being the 11th second baseman in baseball history with 175 homers and now 100 steals.
And 5 of the 11 are in the Hall of Fame. You could argue a couple of more of those probably should be there, like Lou Whitaker. Right now, for me, he is the biggest member of the Hall of Fame that has been excluded, I should say, from the Hall of Fame among all position players, but certainly as a second baseman. But some really special company. I think that's the stat that matters. We'll dig in sometimes and we'll get a little bit nuanced, but that is significant when you're talking about an all-around defender, excuse me, player and hitter, the different things that Ozzie can do.
Quick visit from Keibert Ruiz. And Ozzie getting that 100th career stolen base yesterday in the Braves' 8-3 win. How about that? That is a crafty piece of hitting. Ozzie makes a big turn. He'll stop at first, but he just saw that hole and shot it right down the line.
Seems like one of the more extreme shifts that we have seen against Ozzie this year. It's going to be a breaking ball, that knuckle curveball that sits in the outer half, and Ozzie just slaps it there, but nobody home. As there was no expectation that Ozzie could do that from the Washington Nationals.
Ozzie's 5th hit of the series. Remember, he had a big 2 RBI hit in game 1 here on Thursday against the Nats. And this could end the inning. Dubon hits it to short. It's a 6-4-3 double play. This is Braves Vision, powered by Southern Company. Brandon, CJ, and Birdie with you here on this Sunday from Truist Park. No score as we start the 3rd. Another wide strike there. J.R. Ritchie will take it as he faces James Wood, who he struck out in the 1st.
I think they're going to challenge. I think he might win it too. Or no? Oh no.
No, just a ball came off the field.
Saw the step out. It felt like a challenge was coming.
He certainly would have had an argument. It was on this date, August 2nd, 4 years ago, that the Padres got Juan Soto from the Nationals in exchange. 2 of the pieces that came back, James Wood, this guy at the time was a big prospect, and also C.J. Abrams. That was a huge trade back in August of 22.
Yeah, I think the Nationals absolutely crushed it in that one. One of the pieces that came back, though, I know, was at Robert Hassel, that they have since DFA'd. But the fact that you have 2 stars, not like good players, like
batters challenging the strike call.
These are stars.
This one's going to miss. Brian Walsh has been pretty generous with that strike zone early. T-Mobile challenge.
Pitches a ball. Washington has 1 challenge remaining.
And then Mackenzie Gore was also in that deal, right? So they have since moved on from him, but you really start tracking that trade and seeing, okay, what did they get for Mackenzie Gore, and you kind of put the collective together. And again, it's been excellent.
Yeah, it really has been. Wood is becoming a superstar, but he has been quiet in this series, thankfully. Now 1 for 12.
I think, you guys, we haven't seen him yet at the big league level, and I'm looking at the Abrams trade from, the Mackenzie Gore trade from January. It's 5 players. So think about the Tuesday you have on the field right now. Mentioned Robert Hassel not around anymore, or at least not on the 40-man roster, and then the 5 minor leaguers that you got back from the Texas Rangers, essentially all for Juan Soto.
Yeah, if a couple of those hit, that's an incredible turnaround for the Nats. I remember you and I talking last year into the season when we were playing up there, CJ. Right? How long before the Nationals kind of get back on track? Do they get back on track? I think we both agree they're ahead of schedule this year with hovering around 500. It'll be interesting to see where they are in 2027.
2 qualified hitters, the guys we were just talking about, that have an OPS over 900 in that graphic there. It just seems that everything to me has been accelerated. You have this window now because you're getting really close with that guy, especially, who is going to be here long term. I had said it in the offseason last year that for me, James Wood was the guy that I try to get locked up, and they may have missed the boat on that.
I think Baldwin was going to challenge. Maybe he was confused, thinking Brian Walsh called it a strike, and I think Brian Walsh told him it was too late for him to challenge.
It looked like a strike, and we have sometimes to make that assumption. 3-0. It was really close. They certainly, I think, would have won a challenge, though.
And Brian Walsh says you're too late. Yeah, I mean, getting James Wood locked up, though, he looks like he's going to be a good one for a long time to come.
Yeah, they may have waited too long, though, right? That's the issue, is he becomes better and better, and certainly the league knows what a great hitter this guy is. They got 4 more years of control after this one. So he still doesn't start making any real money until after next year, right? He's not arbitration eligible yet, so it'll be a little bit over the league minimum. They could give it a shot, but I think the clock is ticking pretty quickly. C.J. Abrams will be a 4+ player at the end of this year, meaning he is 2 years away from free agency. I think he probably spends the bulk of his career somewhere else.
Two balls, 1 strike here to Cruz. Another young player, 24 years old, 2nd season in the bigs. High and deep, sending Harris back to the wall. He's got it right up against the Papa John side.
Michael tracked this perfectly. Hanging changeup that was hit pretty hard at 102. It was just a matter for Michael Harris, is there going to be enough room? And barely, but there was, as he scales the wall and hauls it in.
J.R. Ritchie with a full removal of the cap and appreciation of his center fielder. Another great grab in what has been a great season for that man. And here is the aforementioned C.J. Abrams. Runner takes off for second base, and the throw high. So Lyle will steal it.
Picked a really good pitch to go, and this is a tough one to handle for Drake Baldwin. Breaking ball that is down, decent jump, but really good speed as Lyle gets there easily. Seen a few of these today now from J.R. Ritchie, where he is missing on the glove side when he's trying to go to the arm side away to left-handed hitters. Perhaps being just a little bit too quick, or trying to find that consistent release point to get that baseball away.
Leaves the curveball arm side, 3-0. Abrams 28 homers. His previous career high was 20. having a whale of a season offensively. Called strike on the corner, and again the Nats just one challenge left here in the third.
I think they would have lost this anyway. Backdoor maybe accidentally, but it worked out close.
J.R. Ritchie payoff pitch, and it's fouled off. A lot of youth. Youngest since the '75 Montreal Expos as far as position players is concerned.
Which essentially the Washington Nationals are, right? From 04 to 05 they left Montreal and they went to DC.
Ozzie has it. In this series the Nats are now 2 for 26 with runners in scoring position.
No score, bottom three. Welcome back to Truist. Martin Perez last night was amazing. At some point, we're going to have to stop talking about it, but that time is not now. I talked to him earlier in the locker room today and asked him about his arm. Physically, how are you doing? He said no more than average or normal soreness. That is a big deal because he didn't have enough time to rest of what he's used to as a starter. His wife was so proud of him. She made it to the game last night with a call with 30 minutes to go right before he walked out on the field. His kids got to see it. His dad, who says, if you're going to do something in life, son, do it right, text him after the game. Wow, way to go. And Dubon earlier in the clubhouse told me everybody is still talking about it. Guys.
And Yastrzemski gets the people talking with a solo shot here in the third.
Summer here in Atlanta, and nobody hotter than Mike Yastrzemski as the power stroke is back for the Braves right fielder today, getting a hold of 97 miles an hour and hitting it clear over the brick wall in right center.
What a series for Yaz. And a big homer on Thursday that tied the game, and the Braves would go on to win it. A couple of doubles, and now another homer here against the Nats for Yastrzemski. Eighth home run of the series for the Bravos, and now Riley.
Have we gotten to know Mike Yastrzemski here a little bit? Another guy, we picked up on it pretty quickly, but steady Eddie fits in perfectly in this clubhouse, regardless of how he is performing. Every day he is exactly the same, and it was really just a matter of time. He had a great spring training, didn't get off to maybe the start that he wanted to, but continued to do what he always does, and now reaping the benefits with some really, really strong results.
And it'll be interesting with the Lane Thomas addition to see if Yaz and Lane Thomas platoon out in left field, and if Dubon moves to short. Now there are different options there, but it's one scenario that the Braves could go to quite frequently.
Yeah, I think so. We'll find out Tuesday and get a much better idea as far as what the roster is going to look like, with a couple of decisions that have to be made. And then also, of course, we'll see what happens until we get to the deadline. Is anybody else going to be joining this team? That deadline again 6 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. So a little bit more than 24 hours away, but it seems like maybe that's where things are leaning, right? You bring in a guy like Lane Thomas, he likely is going to be out there against lefties. And then, you know, there's going to be days like today where you want Ronald to DH, right? And so a couple of other options you have there as far as moving him around or even giving him a day. This team has definitely gotten better now that Lane Thomas is on it. It's only given Walt Weiss more good options.
Yeah, called strike. Riley knew it. 2 strikeouts for Cavalli.
Good looking 2-seam fastball here. 96 miles an hour, outer third, and just jumping on Austin Riley quickly.
And I know a lot of folks wondering about the starting pitching and will there be a move there. We do not have any inside information on that. We're probably going to find out when the rest of you do.
I kind of like it that way, to be honest with you, because I like speculating. I like looking around, kind of seeing what could be. I think on that same seat and same anxiety that fans have.
Only thing we know at this point is Tarek Skubal will not be a Brave this year.
And we'll maybe see him, right? We have one more Dodgers series left coming
here.
up.
Yep. End of the month. Four hits and a couple of runs driven in for Jarvis in this series. Slow bouncer to Nunez. Kind of a double clutch as he waited for Chaparro to get back, but they made the play.
It's a weird sounding ball, right? It sounded like he barreled it. He didn't. It was only 51 miles an hour off the bat. It was 98 on that four-seamer that jammed Jim Jarvis.
Cavalli threw a first pitch strike to everybody first time through the order. And there's the first time he has let it bat off with a ball. Braves versus Nats going back to the 21 title year. That's our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts feature here this afternoon. Braves 57-30 with a +130 run differential.
That's a big number at the bottom, and now trying to get their 6th series sweep over that time, which is pretty amazing.
And if you remember, the Braves also had a 4-game sweep of the Nats last year, and now trying to do that in back-to-back seasons. Three-1 here from Cavalli, the 27-year-old from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh.
Drake could have challenged, but he will not.
There was 2 in this at bat that looked like they were off the play. One was down. This one definitely off.
That definitely missed.
A good challenge for Ronald today. You saw what happened in the first at bat. 97 that got by him for the strikeout. It's the one last piece of the puzzle for me as we watch Ronald Acuna Jr. and kind of working his way back, is his ability to get to the good fastball that's middle and up, and this guy's got that kind of fastball to challenge him.
97, that's the pitch he struck him out on, but as you said, that pitch that he struck him out on was further up.
He's gotten to a couple of sinkers, the home runs that we have seen, hard hit balls lately for Ronald. I think those actually work well into his bat path, right? Because there's some sink, it's coming down, and you can't cover everything. It does seem like that's kind of been the game plan we've noticed from opposing pitchers here over the last couple of months, where the fastball's been elevated when he has been active and healthy.
This will be the 40th pitch for Cavalli. He's made it through exactly 6 innings in each of his last 4 starts when he's been on a really good run for the Nats.
That would have been one of those ones that went to ABS and would have really annoyed you. It's about a 1/10 of the baseball caught the strike zone.
2-2 with 2 away. It's one of those pitches up, a cutter that time.
It's good velocity for a cutter. Usually averages 94, which is about 2 to 3 miles an hour off of his fastball, but that one at 96.
Another pitcher you see there calling the pitches on his belt on that PitchCom device. Goes to the sweeper to strike out Acuna and in the 3rd, but Yastrzemski got the scoring started.
Good to see Yaz. He has been swinging a hot bat and into the Braves bullpen. Put the Braves up 1-0 here through 3.
Top 4, Braves up 1-0. It is game day staff appreciation week, and I'm here with Jimmy Locklear in front of the South End Trading Company. Jimmy, congratulations. You are awarded. You are on camera. Tell us how you became a big Braves fan with those cool glasses.
Well, I grew up in Chattanooga, so I actually came to a Braves game in 1968, shortly after the Braves moved here, and then watched it on TBS like so many millions of folks. We get to meet a lot of folks who were Braves fans for life because of television. And one of my favorite stories with the game used items is this couple came in from Hawaii, and they were lifelong Braves fans, had never been to the stadium for a game, were in town because their brother was going to be retiring from the Army at Fort Benning, so they wanted to buy a base for them to commemorate being here and send it back to Hawaii, and then buy a base for their brother to take to Fort Benning as a retirement present.
You guys got a lot of good stuff in here. This is all the game used stuff that you can't get anywhere else, that's signed by a lot of legends. The favorite part of your job would be what?
Hearing the stories of fans and why they love the Braves. And Braves country is everywhere, and we have folks coming in from all over the country, and now lately it seems like all over the world. And so hearing their stories and why they're interested in a certain player. A guy came in the other day from Monterrey, Mexico, and said, I got to get something from Matt Olson. And so we found him a baseball signed by Matt Olson. You just never know who's going to be a favorite of all of our fans.
Is Matt Olson #1 right now?
He is. He is. Everyone, we can't keep his stuff on the shelves, so especially his bats and things like that. So, but it's a lot of fun, and like I say, they all have favorite players.
Who's #1 out of the old guys who have retired?
Chipper Jones gets the most interest. People wanting his autograph, or they're wanting, and thankfully we have a few of those. But yeah, they love all the players. Del Murphy, all of the Hall of Famers recently. We have an exhibit now for the Hall of Famers, and so yeah, people love that.
I knew it was Chipper or Del Murphy. I wasn't sure. Jimmy, thanks for clearing that up for me. Again, game day staff appreciation week. And I want to give a special shout out to Katie Hearn, who designed this and thought of this, to say thank you back to a lot of the people that we don't see that make the park go. It sets the mood. It sets the tone. It's why this is a winning organization. BG.
Yeah, well said. Katie, Anna, their team, the tremendous people like Jimmy are tremendous. So it's fun insight to know the things that he sees and what all the fans are interested in.
Yeah, and it gives you an idea again of what these people are like. The fact that they're actually interested in your story when you come into the trading spot there, to be able to get some of the game you stuff as opposed to like, hey, what can we sell you? What kind of money can we make off you? And let's see your story as well. It's interesting. I love the idea that you could buy a base, by the way. Like the idea of getting near a major league base as a kid did not seem like anything that would be a real possibility. I think it's one of the greatest ideas that people came up with. And the fact that they'll throw them in there kind of randomly from different games or different moments, and the fact that you can buy them. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're going to buy 3, right? And put a field in your backyard with real Braves bases. That's what you should be doing. Have the greatest wiffle ball field in the neighborhood.
J.R. Ritchie running into a little bit of trouble here. Ruiz singles. Tena the walk. That's 3 walks for Ritchie. And CJ, this is something we saw earlier in the year from Ritchie. When he struggles, command can be an issue.
This is his final step. His stuff is real. Fastball curveball combination really good. His changeup is good. It is that command, and not just the walks, but the command inside the strike zone as well, right? Dylan Cruz hit that ball that was a changeup that was up. Michael made a really nice play, and listen, everybody's going to make mistakes, but fine-tuning that command a little bit more, I think, will be that final step for J.R. Ritchie for him to really take off.
It's 10 pitches this inning, 8 of them balls so far for J.R. Ritchie. There's 94 in a good spot. 2-2 to Nunez, who singled in the second.
And not that Walt's thinking about going there just yet, but this bullpen is in a really good place right now, and there is an off day tomorrow, so you can push a little bit harder with the pen after having to pull back the last few days.
Now, Bryce Elder, Martin Perez really put this bullpen in a great spot for the final game of this tough stretch.
Between that, what Hernandez did in his last one, and the 3 innings that he gave as well. And it was just Medeiros yesterday, right? Was he the only one that?
Danny Young.
Oh, and Danny Young.
Yep.
Medeiros probably down for me today. Just be a little bit more careful. I think it's 2 out of 3 for him. Same thing with Danny Young, even though the pitch count was okay, and that leaves you with some pretty good options down there. We haven't seen Fuentes, right, since he hadn't thrown since he threw the 2, right? Since
yes.
He did both days in that doubleheader when we were up in New York. So he could be your multi-inning guy if you can't get J.R. Ritchie through 5.
.65 pitches right now. 3-2. That was big. Strikes out Nunez.
Well, you're not lying, because if he found a way to get on base, now bases loaded, nobody out, Walt very likely was going to get somebody up. And this is that 2-seam fastball. Again, the stuff is plenty live. 95 miles an hour, good movement, outer third. That's a great full count pitch from J.R. Ritchie.
Bebas going to drop this out into right center. Now the runners froze to see if that was going to get past Ozzie, so nobody scores, but they are loaded.
It's annoying. You get a nice strikeout, you make a good pitch, you get very weak contact, but somehow it ends up being a base hit. That's a good cutter. It's inner third, it's elevated well below the barrel, and just 63 miles an hour off the bat.
Now, what you have coming up at Chaparro is a lot of power, but also a double play candidate. Oh, gosh. Curveball slipped right out of his hand and caught Chaparro up around the helmet. So it'll tie the game, but right now the concern for the first baseman for the Nationals, Andres Chaparro.
Good to see him standing up here pretty quickly, and that helmet doing what it is designed to do, and now a smile on the face of Chaparro.
Yeah, maybe more than anything, it just shakes you for a second.
And quite honestly, that takes some of the anxiety away from J.R. Ritchie, right? You feel terrible when something like that happens. To see Chaparro up, smiling, you feel a little bit better. No damage was done. And obviously, it's a pitch that pretty much got away in a big way as he got underneath that curveball and it just took off on him. But you're going to see it catch the ear flap. The Braves probably would get somebody up here now, or pretty close.
Fuentes is going through his warm-ups, not throwing a baseball, but throwing a weighted ball against the wall out there.
How is he wearing a sweatshirt today? I know he's in the shade, but wow.
Still, it's a humid one. Tie game now. You got the bases loaded. A really good hitter in James Wood at the plate.
So far, so good for J.R. Ritchie when it comes to James Wood. He's retired in both times, and both times he's done it on the curveball.
Throws that curveball there, lands it, 1-2. Couple of grand slams in his young career.
You go look up and down the line for James Wood, what he's done against right-handed pitching now these last 2 seasons, killing fastballs, decent against the changeups, really hitting sliders well, but the curveball from righties, that has been one of the pitches that he has really struggled with. Same thing with the sweeper. Now JR's got a pretty big decision to make here. Are you aggressive in the zone with one of your fastballs and you take your chances? Do you flip something with some spin on it and hope for the best?
Another full count.
Oof.
And a foul tip, and Wood still has life here.
It's a great pitch. Outer third, good movement away. Drake Baldwin didn't enjoy that nearly as much as JR did.
How's your Sunday going, Drake?
If you could throw that changeup in the same spot, it'd be perfect.
This is going to get another run home, but it's going to stay in the yard. Harris makes the catch. He'll throw to third to keep the runner at second. But the Nationals grab the lead here in the fourth. For the Nationals, their first lead in this series since the 5th inning on Thursday night in Game 1. The Braves controlling yesterday, controlling Friday as well. Lyle has reached both times. Single in the first, walk in the third. Dubon's going to sprint over and run out of room.
So far staying away from fastballs here. Cutter, slider, slider. Lyle does have his struggles against the changeup. And again, when it's right, JR's got a really good changeup. I know we talk about the curveball a lot, but this might not be a bad spot to try to get some chase. He chased the slider. Second pitch of the at-bat, he probably would chase that changeup if you locate it down and away.
It's been a long inning for Ritchie. Next pitch will be his 30th here in the top of the fourth. And his 80th of the ball game. The payoff from Ritchie. Ground ball. Jarvis playing up the middle. And there is the third out. The Nats get 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Matt Olson leading off bottom of the fourth. He hit his 30th homer of the season yesterday. That leads us to this, our truest leaderboard. Most home runs post All-Star break going back to 2016. Yeah, there's some good names on this list.
Impressive company for sure. We know Aaron Judge and the great home run prowess that he has currently on the IL with the New York Yankees. But you are talking about some of the best home run hitters in the game. I think in the case of Suarez that last couple of years he had some really strong second halves.
Speaking of Judge, the Judgeless Yankees, the Braves will see them up in the Bronx next weekend after they host the Marlins here at home Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this coming week.
Not too often we go back-to-back to New York City, right? We finished up with the Mets, and now the next trip is back to New York City again to take on the Yankees. We got lucky last time. I think we get lucky again with respectable New York weather in the middle of the summer. I know it rained, but I'll take the weather we had up there compared to what it usually can be at this time of year.
Yeah.
Birdie talked about how hot it is down in the well because he is surrounded by cement. That's pretty much what it's like being in New York in the summer.
But we did luck out during that trip to Queens. Folks, this ball game is tied. Olson, party of one. Your table is ready at the Chop House.
And it got out of here quickly for Matt Olson against the cutter that didn't cut, finishing just kind of inner third and straight. And a quick look into the dugout from Cavalli, kind of interesting in where he went. All the action was out in right field. He was looking the other way. Maybe he didn't want to see it, right? Hide your eyes from the missile you just allowed to Matt Olson, 401 feet.
31 on the season now for Matt Olson. 3 of those coming in this series.
We were just kind of discussing in between innings about the game and this pitching strategy. And I asked you, I said, well, do you think the Braves are going to score another run? And it was kind of a rhetorical question because we both believe that's going to be the case. And sure enough, it happened really quickly. And it's also gotten some action up in the bullpen. So that was all the part of the conversation we were having, whether or not JR was going to go back out.
Did Michael? Did he? I don't think he wanted to challenge. We'll have to get another look at this. He looked kind of frustrated that Brian Walsh.
So was it originally called a strike? Yes.
Yeah. And
too late.
All's well that ends well. It works out for Michael Harris.
That is hand in the cookie jar right there. We saw you.
But yeah, you mentioned the action. Dylan Dodd is now throwing for the Bravos.
And we've tried to play along, right? And it's not always easy to do. And sometimes we do it in front of the microphone and sometimes behind. What would you do now with the bullpen? I said, well, if you think the Braves are going to score another run, which of course we absolutely believe that would be the case against the Nationals, then maybe JR would be done. Now it seems like for Walt, maybe more reactionary to the home run to say, all right, Dylan Dodd, as quickly as he's going down there, very likely going to be in this game in the 5th inning.
A chat for J.R. Ritchie with Jeremy Hefner.
Well, think about, and we don't know what the answer is. The speculation to come up whether or not JR actually warmed up last night in AAA. I don't know if anybody ever got confirmation on it, but he got pulled late after the Lopez thing happened, and then Martin getting bumped up and JR getting this start. But listen, we know Martin stepped up in a huge way. He's 35 years old. He's been around a long time. He adjusts quickly.
Routine fly ball for Lyle.
But there was also an adjustment there for J.R. Ritchie. Again, I don't know if he warmed up, but probably close enough where he went through his entire routine to get ready for a game and then had to put the brakes on.
Look at the Braves against right-handed pitchers. That's our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature.
Continue to put up some really impressive numbers, especially the home runs. We know, of course, all the left-handed hitters in this lineup. You turn Ozzie around, there's a lot of power.
Another note on Richie that I think we were talking about a week or two ago is that he only has one option left. So assuming that he is optioned after this game, then he would be out of those.
For the season.
Yes, for the season.
Yeah, there's a new rule they put in Major League Baseball. I guess that was with the last CBA, which I think was a good one, which is you can only go up and down 5 times in any one season. If they tried to send you down then a 6th time, you'd have to get run through waivers. I think that absolutely is a good one, so guys aren't, going up and down all the time. There's probably got to be some limits, but I believe coming into the season, he probably, since he was not originally on the roster, has options for the next couple of years. I'll confirm that for you here in a second.
But would assume then that that's probably the last time we see J.R. Ritchie this year, right?
If he comes up again, you can't send him back down.
Yeah, you can't send him down.
The only thing about, and I saw that tweet today about it, is I wasn't sure if one of those was a doubleheader where he was 27th man.
Okay.
Because if that happened during the year, that I don't think that officially counts as one of those options.
Left field, another chance for Lyle out there.
I did not have time to dig in on that. It's a lot. It is a lot, and it gets really complicated. And there's times where you feel like you got to grasp, and then I'll still ask somebody in the front office about it and realize, oh no, I missed this part. That's how that works, because whether it's a doubleheader or whatever it might be. So I can promise you this: the Braves know.
Yeah,
they know exactly what they can do, and will take no unnecessary risks with players.
It is a jigsaw puzzle. Ball, 1 strike here to Mauricio Dubon, who grounded into a double play back in the 2nd. Pitch number 60 today for Cade Cavalli. 97 outside, 3-1. And Cavalli missed nearly 3 years due to Tommy John surgery and subsequent setbacks. He returned to the majors last year in August. He was their opening day starter this year. He's inducing a grounder to third that will end the 4th, but the bottom of the 4th started with a bang. CJ,
the power continues for the Braves in this series against the Nationals. 2nd home run of the day for the Braves, and Matt Olson this time.
Braves baseball is presented by Truist. Scattered clouds on the Sunday afternoon, 86 degrees, 2-2 between the Braves and Nats. And here is Dylan Dodd taking over for J.R. Ritchie.
Been a great year for Dylan Dodd, an even better run lately over his last 14 games. A 1.32 ERA over 13 2/3, and just a 109 batting average against during those 14 games.
Starts by facing Dylan Cruz, who is 0 for 2 today. Comcast Defend the Mound feature. We've talked about the Braves relievers having the #1 ERA in baseball, and that continues.
And there's been some adjustments along the way. The big boys, for the most part, have stayed in place, but still no Robert Suarez. It'll be good to get him back. Fuentes certainly has stepped up in a big way in that bullpen. I mentioned yesterday, James Karinchak is back. And you like the way this thing is built, and there is some speculation that it could get even better before that trade deadline expires at 6 o'clock tomorrow night.
We're 27 hours away from that.
Now, real quick to kind of put a bow on J.R. Ritchie, and went and looked at his fastballs, and it felt like the command was off today. So both the forward and the two-seam fastball, only 38% of those pitches were inside the strike zone, right? You want your fastball closer to 50. Overall strike rate on his fastball was 44%, right? That's kind of that one little thing that is just, you know, we're waiting on that clicks with a little bit more consistency, and I think, again, he'll go on a roll.
Dubon had to go a decent way to grab it, but no problem. Let's get a message here from Zaxby's.
10 wings, $10. At Zaxby's, the math is mathing. Zaxby's 10 for 10.
Here's the Alpharetta native who went to Roswell, Blessed Trinity Catholic in Roswell, I should say. C.J. Abrams, 0 for 2 today.
It's also where Joseph Contreras went, the son of Jose Contreras, who we saw in the WBC as a high schooler get Aaron Judge to ground into a double play, which is amazing.
Something to brag about to your friends.
And there was a lot of expectation, actually, that Joseph would get drafted pretty high. Ended up not getting drafted. I'm guessing that whatever he was looking for, a little bit higher than teams were willing to give. And so he's going to go to Vanderbilt, which I believe, is that where C.J. Abrams was going to go? Do you know? I can't remember.
Alabama.
Alabama, okay. Same, right?
Yeah.
The Vanderbilt of Alabama.
They're both in the SEC. But the Padres took Abrams 6 overall in 2019. And then, as we mentioned, he came over to the Nats in that Soto trade on this date back in 2022.
Rest in peace, my mentions. or the text messages I'll get from my Bama friends. It's the same, isn't it?
As long as you're not saying Vanderbilt is the Alabama of Tennessee, I think you're okay. Swing and a miss. The cutter. 2 down.
We know this is the calling card for Dylan Dodd. The two-seam fastball has also been really important, but he's always had this cutter. And that is a really good location. Down and away, left on left. Lefty's hitting just 167 against the Dylan Dodd cutter this year.
2 up, 2 down. Ruiz has a walk and a single today. Ruiz in the 4th season of that 8-year, $50 million extension that he signed after his first full year in the league. He's one of those guys. He's done okay for them, but I don't know that he's been the catcher that they had hoped he would be.
It seemed like, I don't want to say a panic sign when they did it at the time, but they were looking for some identity. They really didn't have any big pieces of the future the way that they do now, and we've seen over the last couple of years when that deal happened.
I saw Harry Ford earlier in this series, the Atlanta product that they went out and got. High draft pick, traded from Seattle. We'll see how he factors into their future. Well, that's probably a fun conversation over there.
It's really encouraging to see Spencer Schwellenbach back in a Braves uniform and threw a bullpen the other day in front of everybody here in Atlanta. And some hope that he could be available in September.
Yeah, if you, I was talking with Mark Bowman about this, CJ, if you kind of go with the normal timeline and everything stays right for Schwellenbach, you would hope early September, maybe around September 10th or the 2nd week. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Still 1-2 here. Shallow to the outfield grass. Ozzie will take it. Dodd with a good 1-2-3, top of the 5th. The sauce brought to you by Zaxby's. He has had it back in the 3rd inning.
He certainly did, and he has been on fire here, slugging very well right now for the Atlanta Braves as he deposited that one into the Atlanta Braves bullpen. The first of 2 home runs that we have seen here today. Matt Olson with the other.
And that brings us to our score of 2-2 here. We've got Brady House taking over for Chaparro at first base.
After he took that curveball off the helmet, maybe out of precaution here for Chaparro and getting him out of the warm afternoon sun here at Truist.
The starter, Cade Cavalli, still working here for the Nationals. Trying to surprise everybody.
It would have worked too in the way that they had things lined up defensively for Yaz, and you do like it when a guy is showing some power, swinging the bat well, and maybe catching everybody off guard. There was some room down the 3rd baseline.
So I mentioned for Cade Cavalli how he was basically out 3 years with Tommy John surgery, a few setbacks. So this year he wanted to change a couple things up, got the facial hair going. But as we said, he's been on a good run as of late. Those last 4 starts, 3-0, 6 innings in each of the starts, but it's been touched by a couple of solo homers here today. Way out of the zone there, almost hitting Yastrzemski.
Because of all that injury time that you mentioned, this is only his 35th big league start as this fastball is going to get away, and luckily Yaz got out of the way. But he'll be a 3+ player. There's only 3 years left to control, but yet only 35 starts in his career.
Nunez makes the play. Austin Riley's our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life impact player. Taking a look at the last 6 games versus the Nationals for Austin Riley. A couple of ribbies mixed in there. That was in this series. Line to right. It's down. Bouncing up against the wall. Riley digs for 2. It's a double.
You love to see this for Austin Riley. He had struck out against the fastball similar at 96 in his first at bat. The first pitch sweeper, I'm trying to play along a little bit and thinking about where Austin may be mentally, and I'm like, man, is it going to be a different kind of at bat, right? Attack with a fastball second time around, attack him with spin, and if you start thinking that way, you're going to get beat on a fastball. He got the fastball. He did not get beat on it. It traveled deep, and he hit it hard at 101 miles an hour. That's encouraging.
So we had the 2 RBI double yesterday in the 7th. Now a double here with 1 out in the 5th today. Jarvis, sharp grounder toward the middle. Abrams. High throw. It gets by House. And Riley's going to score to give the Braves the lead.
We've talked about it quite quite a bit and how errors have been a problem for C.J. Abrams. He might have a legitimate beat for whether or not Bill Miller was in his way here, though. Watch Bill Miller right here start to step forward and trying to get out of the way, and then the throw sails to Brady House, who just came in the game to play first base. I'm not sure it made much of a difference. There was a good amount of movement on that throw from C.J. Abrams and tailing away.
Yeah, interesting with the Bill Miller thing. I wonder if Abrams did feel like that had an effect on his third error of the series.
Umpires do not have a lot of time to figure out which way they want to go to try to avoid the play. And, of course, Bill Miller has been doing it for a long time. I think if he had gone toward the outfield, it might have been even worse for him. So he thought, let me go toward the infield. Just the way that it goes.
So the Braves led 1-0. The Nats led 2-1, and now it's the Braves back on top here by a penny. Now he passes Trey Turner in a spot that he doesn't want to pass Trey Turner. Most errors by a shortstop in baseball this season.
As this season is starting to slip away here a little bit from the Washington Nationals, right? They've been a good story. I don't think they're a postseason team. Certainly not with their pitching. 2 games under, 4th place right now, 11.5 games back. I mean, I'll continue to push. For me, if C.J. Abrams does not get traded by tomorrow, I put him at second base the rest of the year. And see what that looks like and figure out what you have going forward. Either way, it would help his trade value in the offseason. We know what he can do offensively. Just doesn't feel like shortstop is going to be his position over the long term, and the quicker you get him off, the better, I think.
And just flip and put Nunez at short.
He's a great defender, yeah. And again, at this point, you're not really playing to win. Not that you're not trying to win, but the odds of you getting to the postseason are getting thinner and thinner. And it looks like they're probably going to trade away Garcia. We'll see about Foster Griffin. That bat is just too good to not be sure where he can play defensively. To me, it's time to try something else.
Speaking of good bats, 20 homers, 57 driven in this year for Drake Baldwin, and that includes the time on the IL. Swinging at a 3-0 pitch and bouncing into a 4-6-3 double play. But the Braves do get a run to take the lead. You are watching Hyundai Sunday here from Truist Park. Brandon Gaudin, C.J. Nitkowski, Paul Bird as we go to the 6th with the Braves on top 3-2. Christopher John brought in 18 bagels today.
17. I left one for Megan.
Oh, what a husband. Well, I am here to report that I am eating the 17th and final bagel at the moment.
Now, you didn't eat all 17, to be clear.
No.
But you are finishing up the jalapeno cheddar, which is
there's a piece of jalapeno in there.
Makes me happy.
Oh man, makes my stomach happy. Makes my love handles happy. But they're healthy bagels, right? It's all.
Yeah, generally. Yeah, I mean there is some raw sugar and syrup that goes into the recipe, so they're not completely guilt-free, but delicious. Yesterday, when my son came to visit, my older son came up, and so had a bagel day there. We did cinnamon raisin and everything, and my wife said she prefers that I just not leave so many bagels around because she had 3 yesterday.
Did hear Fuentes after Don pitched the 5th. You get Fuentes here in the 6th, and Fuentes promptly strikes out Jose Tena.
Well, he continues to crush it, and he does it here with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right at Jose Tena, right down the middle, and nothing he could do about it.
Guys, I would like to report that my post-game meal last night consisted of a sourdough cinnamon raisin loaf from C.J. Nitkowski.
Oh, love that.
He said it was his B game, but I'm saying right now, C.J., it was pretty top notch.
So I didn't have the real lift I wanted on it. It wasn't quite a curling stone, but it was. I wanted a little more height.
Well, I'm not. You know, I got to give credit where credit's due, man. I ate half the loaf last night before going to bed.
Which is perfect timing.
It carried me right through to lunch today, but the secret is a little bit of butter, some cinnamon, and then sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar on it.
Ooh, let's go.
Phenomenal.
Bertie, before the game, CJ's talking with Val and I about buying one of those industrial-sized ovens to put in his house.
Not really going to do it, but the temptation is real.
I love the conversation. I was even tempted to take that bread and dip it in some creamer.
Ooh,
you know?
okay.
Yeah, I'm considering replacing.
Half and half.
Yeah, considering replacing all the milk in my house with just straight creamer.
Another strikeout for Fuentes. 97 on the top shelf. Say goodbye to Nunez.
This fastball is so live and at the top of the zone even tougher than the one that we saw down the middle.
I'll be honest, start of the year, I did not. Two of the X factors for me. What would we get from Didier Fuentes and Dylan Dodd?
Yeah.
And boy, those two guys have really fortified the bullpen.
Well, I think Fuentes last year, there were legitimate concerns, not about his career, but where was the immediate help going to be able to come from after he struggled? Maybe shouldn't have been in the big leagues as early as he was. You worry about guys when you have that level of failure. How can you bounce back? And in spring training, he put all of those questions to bed real quickly. He looked good. He looked comfortable. He looked aggressive. The next step was, okay, is that just spring training? It's a pretty relaxed atmosphere. What's he going to do now next time that the big lights go on and there's a third deck in the stadium?
Well, he is cruising right now. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Braves pen. Is brought to you by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. By Delta Airlines, keep climbing. And by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. Matty O homers in 3 straight games, including that blast in the 4th. He's due up second here in the bottom of the 6th. Starts with Acuna.
We'll see if Cade Cavalli can get through another outing here of 6 innings. You mentioned 4 straight. It's 6 of his last 7 coming into this one where he had gone at least 6. There was a 7-inning outing in there as well, but they've only let him touch triple digit once, and it was exactly 100 pitches. So they've been somewhat conservative with all the time that he has missed.
75 pitches right now. He also fancies himself as an amateur barber. Taught himself how to cut hair back when he was at Oklahoma, and he would cut all his teammates' hair, and he still does that for some of the Nationals players. He did it through the minors, and so you can see him in the Nats clubhouse from time to time lining guys up.
Well, he had a pretty special Raleigh Fingers mustache going for a while,
yes,
didn't he? Which no doubt he was taking care of himself, and it's a good point. I didn't know that about him, but it makes some sense. You never see him not looking tight.
Kind of missed the little handlebar mustache that he had.
Yeah, that makes one of us. There's only one mustache like that we like around here, and that was Peter Moylan.
Peter Moylan, that's right. Two backhanded. Wide throw by Nunez. And Ronald Acuna Jr. gets around house to reach. So a couple of errant throws by the middle infielders here for the Nats.
I think you'll still give Ronald a base hit here because it was a tough play and throwing on the run. Nice play to get to it. It looked like it was going to be a nice play all the way around. You worry about watching Ronald and some of the issues that he had and trying to change direction like that. It's one of the few times where, I'm not even saying he should have done it, but where that head first slide into first base is okay. Ronald seemed to be fine.
And they do give Ronald a single. And now Matt Olson at the plate for Atlanta.
The reaction from Cavalli, I think, could be interpreted a couple different ways, right? Is he just mad? Maybe he had 2-strike count, didn't make the pitch he wanted. It was going to look like potentially a really nice play in the outfield, excuse me, in the infield, but it doesn't happen because the throw ends up being offline. But should you really expect your second baseman to be able to make that throw? Probably not. At the same time, the defense behind these pitchers with the Nationals has not been good. Just want to make sure you're not showing up teammates in that spot.
The run last inning unearned. Of course, the first 2 runs were earned because they were solo shots by Yastrzemski and Matt Olson. Home runs in 3 straight games, and all of them were bullets to the chop house.
We round that up and call 3 straight of triple digits.
The other way this time for Olson. Acuña's going to go for third. And he's out. He may have been safe initially, but his momentum took him off the bag. He stopped for a moment around second, and then he gunned it. And unfortunately, it turns out to be a bad decision.
I wonder if he was trying to kind of deke the left fielder there in Lyle. Right, you see how he's kind of pulling up and seeing if he can get also the outfielder pull up and then hit it and go. And wondering is he going to come up and just kind of make a lazy throw to the cutoff man. And like you said, he had it. He caught them off guard, but unfortunately could not hold the bag.
Olson does go to second base, so 1 out for Michael Harris. Nobody throwing right now for the Nationals as Cavalli tries to get through 6 here.
I think one more hitter, get a little bit closer to 90, that you would get somebody up if Michael was able to reach.
Just foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. That bullpen shot you just saw, by the way, was the Braves pin, so no action there. It'll be Fuentes again for the 7th. They're starting to move around for the Nationals. Nunez another chance, similar play. Olson to third, 2 down. A word right here from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Now you'd love to get that run in from third. See what Ozzie can do.
Right now the Braves here, third time through the order, have done a pretty good job against Cavalli at 2 for 4. He's been excellent coming into this game. Just a .207 batting average against. Third time through the order. Impressive numbers. And the best of any time. Right now we mentioned he's been getting deep in games. You don't do that unless you can be good third time through.
He's got Ozzie where he wants him. 0-2. And it looks like Cavalli will get through 6 yet again for his 5th consecutive start. But the Braves are on top by 1.
Two top 7. How about our Braves vision powered by Southern Company? I'm talking about the gyro slider today that Didier Fuentes throws. You hold it kind of like a football like this. When he throws it at that low arm angle and spins it, it comes out rotating like this. It's also called the bullet slider because of the rotation. He changed in for his sweeper last year. It has downward action combined with that electric fastball that he throws at a 24% degree in here by his shoulder. Combine both those 2 pitches. CJ, I don't know if he's going to be a future closer or starter, but the sky is the limit for this guy. I love to watch him pitch.
Same, and I love his role, and he is now 13 pitches into this outing, and he's only thrown fastballs. So we haven't seen that really good slider just yet. The split looked a little bit better in his last outing. We saw more of them inside the strike zone, but I'm with you. This guy's a treat, and he's an unbelievable weapon for Walt. And I don't know what the future is. You've heard me talk about it. I love this role so much for him that I'd probably keep him there for a little while. If there's a need, okay, I could see where you'd be tempted to try him back out in the rotation, and I'm sure there's probably a time where that's going to happen. But with this team as competitive as they are right now, it's a weapon I don't want to lose in the bullpen.
Especially with how effective he has been. He's looking for another strikeout here. First at bat today for House. And House can go right back to the dugout. He is frozen 98 there from Didier Fuentes.
Just life, right? I mean, and location on top of it. I really wonder how far he's going to get into this outing. It's an all-heater outing. Maybe it changes here, top of the order.
17th pitch since entering. And there's the slider. Olsen with a backhand. Fuentes covers, no problem. One more out till we get to Nick and Pete. Georgia Natural Gas will bring you the stretch. And before we get to the stretch, right after the 3rd out, everyone can stand up at home and salute our nation as Timothy Miller sings God Bless America.
The other part of this for Fuentes, from a selfish standpoint, if you were to think about your career and tracking in the right direction, we know starting pitchers have a tough time staying healthy. I mean, all pitchers do. But I think this, for a couple of years, if things continue to go the way they are, he's not going to be a free agent until, or he will be a free agent when he's 26. Right, he's 21 now. This is his first full year in the big leagues, meaning, again, it's way down the road, but he could be a free agent at 27 years old. I'd almost want to stay on this track, keep my innings down a little bit. Maybe you then get into the rotation, or a team wants to convert you. Hopefully he stays here the entire time, and that might increase your chances of having a lengthier career, and you'll still do really well financially.
Sometimes just forget how young he is. One-two pitch coming to Lyle. Well, he's pitching like a vet. 6 up, 6 down, 4 strikeouts, and a lot of gas from Didier Fuentes. All right, everybody. Sit back and enjoy as Timothy Miller strolls out here at Truist Park to bring you God Bless America.
America's freedom with the singing of God Bless America, performed by Braves opera tenor Timothy Miller.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
Welcome to The Stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Welcome to The Stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Nick Green and Peter Moylan here with you. Peter, it's been a nice series for this Braves offense. They have 9 home runs in the series with 2 more today. 3 of those off the bat of Matt Olson. Is 3 straight games with a home run for Matty O.
It was a great July for Matty O with 9 pumps. Well, August has started off pretty good too. I know the tradition is to bring your glove to a baseball game, Nick, but after these 3 days, it might be safe to want to bring a hockey mask with you at the same time. There's been balls going to the chop house at a rate, and Matt Olson has been leading the charge. A couple of the swings that he's been able to put on these balls. By the way, a little single out to left field today just to set everybody straight. But pulling these baseballs, the home runs that he's hit over the last 30-plus days have been pretty epic.
Yeah, 31 home runs on the year for Matt Olson. 5 seasons out of his big league career. He has 30 home runs or more. 3 of those have been with the Braves over the last 5 years. By the way, the Braves led Major League Baseball since the All-Star break in home runs with 27. They add 2 more here today. We'll see if they can add on here as they're currently ahead of the Nationals 3-2 heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's get you back to Braves baseball after a quick word from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
When it comes to natural gas in Georgia, G&G leads the league. We keep it simple with great rates that save you money. We even make it easy to reduce your carbon footprint with greener life. Sign up in minutes at gng.com. It's that simple.
Braves with a 3-2 lead as we start the bottom of the 7th. Great work by Fuentes. Toyota Trends this season. Braves against the East 21-12. The Nats, they've gone the other way. They're 10-20 against division opponents.
They were making it interesting for a little while, were the Washington Nationals, because of the offense, but ultimately that pitching caught up with them and they're getting close. That offense not going anywhere for a while. The big question is whether or not they'll be able to add on pitching wise to challenge a little bit more in this division.
Orlando Revolta is going to now come on out of the pen after Cavalli went 6.
Been pretty good. Game number 35 down here on the season, and this fastball will sit 97 miles an hour, both the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer. Slider is his go-to. 31 2/3, 3 home runs allowed this year. He's had a bigger issue with the righties than the lefties.
2-0 to the righty Dubon, who has a couple of groundouts today, including a 6-4-3 double play in the 2nd. Line drive, base hit.
.96-mile-an-hour 2-seam fastball that Doobie's able to turn on and get some barrel to it. He has to work hard to keep the hands in, and that ball is going down as it is coming in towards him as well.
Leadoff man aboard for Yastrzemski. That was not a strike. Yes, thought about it. Braves still have both challenges.
It's one of those games, right? We talk about games that have feel to them, and it feels like the Braves are up bigger than they are. But this one is really tight against this offense, and we saw what in yesterday's ball game, the idea of being able to open it up a little bit more and add late. We saw 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th yesterday. Take some more of that today.
Been nice to have a little cushion late in the games the last 2 days after all those 1-run affairs. But right now 3-2 here on this Sunday.
It was a 4-run 6th in game 2, a 4-1 7th in game 3. So see what we got planned for late innings today.
Going for second, Dubon. Oh, and then the throw into center field, and he's going to get third. They were trying to get Rebalta's attention. Eventually they did, but too late.
A little bit of panic here probably by Rebalta, and I don't doubt that the heart rate of Mauricio Dubon went up when he realized he might be in trouble right about here. And just overthrew that baseball and yanked it. Nothing C.J. Abrams could do over there as he was covering, and his momentum taking him in the other direction coming over from shortstop.
Infield in. Big run 90 feet away here for the Braves. Fifth error of the series for the Nationals, second today. This is going to give the Braves another run. On the track, Cruz has it. Dubon cruises home. 4-2 Atlanta.
This is firm from Yaz. More really good contact. It's a great at bat when you have a runner at third and nobody out. But he hit this baseball hard. Gave it a little bit of a run out there in deep center field.
Some really good swings in this series for Mike Yastrzemski. And the Braves now with single runs in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and here in the 7th. On the other side of the bag, Nunez able to complete the play. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile. It's the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 big league parks. MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps.
Nunez has had a lot of practice at that backhand running play and throwing across his body today. It's at least 3 times, maybe 4, that he has had a shot at it. One of them got away and ultimately cost the Washington Nationals, but he's done a good job.
Took one away from Riley there for the second out. So the bottom of the order, and Jim Jarvis now. Marlins are in New York right now. They will come here after that game. They're up 1-0 over the Mets. They'll have the day off here tomorrow before playing the Braves in that 3-game series starting on Tuesday. They're 2 games over right now, are the Marlins at 57 and 55. So kind of on the heels now of the Phillies, who have began to struggle here as of late, although the Phils are up 2-0 right now.
Like they're in a rain delay and maybe have been in one for a while in Baltimore.
Yes, in the 3rd inning. And Jarvis down on strikes, but the Braves get an insurance run. Alumni Weekend is back at Truist August 14th and 15th, presented by your local Ford dealer. Fans can look forward to alumni autograph sessions, on-field presentation, the Legends Parade, which is always popular. Braves.com/alumni weekend. And a couple of alums are here today. Colin McHugh, Mike Minor signing autographs before the ball game.
And a couple of good ones, too. And McHugh and Mike Minor got to play with Colin McHugh and then covered Mike Minor when he was with the Texas Rangers, and a true professional, and he had a really nice career.
Car Shield numbers here for Dylan Lee. See that number at the bottom, 299 career strikeouts. And Dylan also celebrated his 32nd birthday yesterday on August 1st.
A good reminder, no broadcast tomorrow, and it is my mother's 81st birthday. So
there you
we'll give
go.
a little happy birthday to Mom early.
I remember her 80th last year.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was awesome.
Eli White takes over in right field. Bullpen 9 up and 9 down so far between Dodd and Fuentes. Painted 2-2. Lost him. Four-seam fastball low. Dylan Cruz down to first base. Quick message from Alpha Insurance.
No matter what life throws your way, we'll be there knocking it out of the park. Getting you back home safe and sound. That's life with Alpha Insurance.
That is such a rarity for Dylan Lee. It's only 8 walks on the season coming into today. That walk rate just a tick over 4%, which is a phenomenal number.
And he'll try to bounce back against Abrams. Whoa. Dylan Lee has never hit a batter in his career that spans over 254 innings. He almost hit Abrams there.
Fastball gets away here, and you're thinking about potentially with Dylan Cruz and how much they run here. Just giving him a long look and maybe just a little bit too much focus over on the runner and not quite getting on top of this fastball in time. I didn't know that he hadn't hit a batter in his career. That's incredible.
Yeah, no pitcher has thrown more innings in the last 40 seasons without hitting a batter. And after almost hitting Abrams, he dots one on the corner, 1-2. There is career strikeout number 300 for Dylan Lee.
And how perfect that it was on his slider, because it has been the go-to weapon for Dylan Lee, one of the best in baseball. Down and away here to C.J. Abrams.
Put the acknowledgement up on the video board. Nice round of applause for the Braves lefty.
I know I told you that story before, but when I was pitching with the Braves, and I didn't know this, I guess I had pitched in my 300th game, and I got on the bus after the game, and Don Sutton was like, "Hey, congratulations."
Ford pitch hitting, bounces into a double play. Well, we'll put a pin in that story. We'll finish it at the bottom of the 8th.
Such a great story. You can't wait to hear the back end of it.
Experience the ease of bundling dinner in a Braves game with a family meal deal. Just $30. You get a ticket, a food item, a drink for the games coming up this week against the Marlins, August 4th through the 6th. Braves.com/family deal to get your tickets right now.
So I get on the bus. Don Sutton says, "Congratulations on game number 300." And I'm thinking to myself, this guy won 300 games. Is he messing with me right now? Like, oh, way to go. You pitched in 300 games. He didn't say it like that, but that's how I took it. That he was great.
Now Lee has 300 strikeouts in his career. Max Kranick, right-hander on, facing the top of the Braves order here at the bottom of the 8th.
So 6th game here with the Washington Nationals. High ERA, 4 2/3 innings so far. A home run allowed. 96 on the four-seamer, curveball, and slider. And he's thrown one sweeper, apparently.
Drake Baldwin puts it in the air. Right center. And on the track, it's brought in by Cruz. Quick message here from Truist.
Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist. Learn how knowledge and care can work for you.
So Baldwin just missed his 21st of the season. Here is Acuna. He's got a couple of homers in the series. First pitch grounded to Abrams. Iglesias is raring and ready to go in that Braves bullpen. Hasn't pitched the last couple of days. Braves bullpen, after Richie went 4 innings, the Braves pen has faced the minimum, just the 1 walk, no hits so far. Iglesias will try to come on and get the final 3 outs.
I told you Luis Garcia Jr. originally in the lineup today for the Nationals was pulled back, and some heavy speculation that he has been traded to the New York Yankees.
It's going to be a quick bottom of the 8th, and it is time for Iggy to come on here in the 9th to try to get the save and the sweep. By your local Ford dealer and by Georgia Natural Gas. Simple savings right here. Visit gng.com. Braves trying to polish off a 4-game sweep of the Washington Nationals. The lowest ERA for Braves from 66 to present with a minimum of 250 innings pitched. It's Kimbrel, and then it's Raisel Iglesias.
How about a couple of starters getting in there as well with Chris Sale and Greg Maddux? That's incredible. But also looking at Craig Kimbrel and where that ERA is and the difference of nearly a full point. Just a reminder of how dominant he was.
And Iglesias has been dominant this season. He starts by facing Jose Tena. 6-7-8 here for the Nationals. Reminder on challenges. Nats do have one. Braves have both. If the Braves win today, they'll get to 67-45. It'll be 5 wins in a row. Now remember, the Braves kind of limped into July with a 2.5 game lead over the Phillies. It's currently an 8 game lead. It could go up after this. Tap back. Oh gosh, thankfully they got him, but that was 2 near disasters. Somehow Olson got out of the way of Tana and kept his foot on the bag.
Yeah, that was the one part about this play, and whether or not Matt Olson actually did hold the baseball, or should hold the bag, but they're not going to challenge this. What you got here is Drake Baldwin calling for it, and this is really hard. The ball probably rolled out further than he anticipated, and thankfully there was no collision and nobody got hurt. But this is a tough one. You communicate, and ideally Drake Baldwin has got a better angle on the baseball, and he's also going toward first, but Iggy kind of using some instincts and taking over, and wow, that is unbelievable that it wasn't worse over there.
As I saw that throw drifting toward the line, I thought that was going to be nasty. Lucky. Good footwork by Olson. But anyway, you think about where the Braves are now versus where they were in July 1 and then back in May. It just shows you the roller coaster that the season can be. But right now the Braves are in such a great spot.
It's amazing to think about how difficult it can be to have a 4-game sweep, and that the Braves did it last September, and a real chance to do it here again.
1 out away.
So Iggy finished the game out the other day. What was it, on 8 pitches, and I believe they were all strikes. Out here trying to do it again.
7 pitches so far as he faces Bibas.
It was that 1-0 game, game 2 of the doubleheader against the Mets, in which he threw 8 pitches to finish it off.
Two balls, 1 strike. Braves have also held this very powerful Nats offense to 11 runs through these 4 games. Not done yet. A 2-out walk for Bibas. And that'll bring House to the plate.
We mentioned the oddity for Dylan Lee to have that walk. He was able to erase it with a double play. It's kind of the same thing with Iggy, an elite level walk rate. It's only his 10th all season.
He's got the Winder, Georgia native Brady House up there. And that's going to be a ball.
Batter challenging the strike call. Pitch is a ball. Washington has 1 challenge remaining.
So Blake Butera, they keep that final challenge. 1-0 pitch now from Iggy. No question about that one. House just recalled a week ago from AAA when the Nats traded Curtis Mead. He's trying to extend this ball game, but he's down to his last strike here. 2-2 with 2 down to the top of the 9th. He struck him out. It's a 4-game sweep of the Nats for the Atlanta Braves.
And maybe the surprise pitch of the year, a slider there from Raisel Iglesias inside the strike zone to finish things off, a lot of good today. Jared Ritchie called up late to make the start, and then the bullpen took over in the 5th inning and absolutely dominated the back end. The timing was perfect. Home runs from Matt Olson, a home run from Yaz. And what an unbelievable sweep here. 4 games for the Atlanta Braves as they continue to play some really good baseball.
The Braves are 22 games over 500. The only other team in baseball that can say that is the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'll be back to Truist Park in a moment.